This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast, the Becker Business Minute. This is a market update, 6 quick stories we're following today. First, futures point up this morning after also a good day in the markets on Friday. Second, the markets jumped Friday on what are essentially some mixed messages from the Fed. The Fed essentially said, or different Fed officials said, we're going to have to raise rates in March. We'll probably raise them again or so. But then at some point, we need to take a pause this summer to assess what's happening with rate raises. And this was welcome news from the markets who have been very scared about a very aggressive Fed. A couple articles in the Wall Street Journal reflect this point. The Wall Street Journal articles essentially said rate increases are putting manufacturing at risk, and they're also putting a big negative impact on the housing industries. So those are the first two stories we're following this morning. Futures point up this AM now, and the markets jumped on Friday. Third, the S&P jumped aggressively on Friday, 1.61%. This also led the major indexes to move in the right direction Friday. The NASDAQ now is up year to date, 12.54%. The S&P is up 5.8%. The Dow is up 0.77%. So that's 3 stories so far. The 4th story is Bitcoin. After a real rally at the start of this year, it's up 35% year to date. Has fallen back some the last couple of weeks. It's now back down to 22,400. It's still up 35% year to date, but it was up to about 25,000. Now it has pulled back about 10%. Finally, 5th, and we'll talk about one more story, 6th, the 10-year Treasury right about 3.95% this morning, or right. The 1-year right about 5.04%. This 5th story, where Treasury yields at, is leading to our 6th story. The 6th story, the last couple of years, there's been this overwhelming concept that there's no alternative to equities. Essentially, there is no alternative, or what's been coined TINA. There is no alternative. Now, all of a sudden, with Treasuries rising so much and becoming a very attractive investment for people, there's a lot of discussion about the after-tax effect of Treasuries, what to do with inflation, and so forth. But either way, when Treasuries are up 5%, people are very excited to put money into them as a safe way to get 5%. So all of a sudden, you're seeing the erosion of this concept that was talked about so much the last couple of years, meaning, quote, there is no alternative. TINA tells us there is an alternative again. So again, 6 stories we're following this morning. Markets up this morning. Markets up Friday. Year-to-date numbers pretty good on the S&P and the NASDAQ. Dow about flat. Bitcoin doing great, but down a little bit the last couple of weeks. The 10-year Treasury about 3.95%. And finally, the movement away from the concept of there is no alternative, the TINA concept. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Update, the Becker Business Minute.